This is the Motovation Podcast, hosted by Laurie Joy Kingwell and Krissy Vann. That's me. And we're taking you on a little off-roading.
And every single week, we're going to be joined by our dope friend, Richelle from True Grit Moto.
Woo! Hey, I floss.
And every week, we are going to ask each other stupid questions, and we're going to answer them. And why, you may ask? Because we can. All right, this is your Motovation
Off-road edition.
Over here, this one's just got to stop moving. Where are you headed? Where are you going?
I'm trying to make some coffee.
It's like quite a multi-step process.
Well, I made the coffee, sis, huh? And then I got to make the oat milk, like the creamer. I do like a oat milk, vanilla. Do some.
Oh yeah, didn't you get your own something maker, milk maker? Is that you?
That's what they call it. God, we're gross. I love it. Oh my God, you really set that up.
Never does.
Never.
That's going to make the cut.
Never does. Should we start with the dog poop?
Definitely.
Is that how we're going to really kick this off?
Yeah, you want me to start with the dog poop?
Yeah, who do you think's questions that?
This is one of those moments where the question, you get the email, and I laughed just reading the question.
Yeah.
I was trying to come up with some really good ones because there's lots of things that happen when this happens. Okay, so my question to you guys is, and to the rest of the world, really, because I see this all the time, and me personally, I handle it quite differently than I would think I actually would. What do you do? What is your reaction when you accidentally step in dog shit? You know what I'm saying?
Well, first off, I don't know who's deliberately stepping in dog shit, because I love how you emphasized accidentally, like you accidentally step in dog shit. And I'm like, well, I don't know who's deliberately walking around being like, splash, like, there it is.
Make sure you don't miss it.
Yeah, they're like, oh, I found one, hopscotch. Like, so my immediate is fuck. And then, but why? Like, to all the dog owners out there that aren't picking that up, like, but why? And then it's like, how do I fully scrape this out? Because dog shit is so intense smelling.
So intense. Yes.
And God forbid you don't know, and you don't really get the full experience until you say get in your car, and now that dog poops like on your mat just enough that you're like, oh no. So like it's immediate fuck, and then like all bets are off. Like, this has got to get itself righted immediately, because the domino effect of where that can go if you don't take immediate action. Although Marley had got dog shit on his tail actually when we came back from the cabin from Christmas, and we were in the car, and I had him wrapped in a blanket on the drive home, and all of a sudden I kind of undid the blanket a bit, and we smelled dog poop, and we were like, oh no, something's happened. And then it was like on his tail, but we had to smell dog poop for like the last solid like half hour of the drive to a certain extent. And it was like, yeah, it was that.
That's why they got rid of their dog.
Yeah, that's why he's no longer with us. No.
He's gone.
He's gone. So
I felt this one in the feels, and Laurie, you know this because I told you quite recently. So, as we know, if you've listened to the podcast side, the final quarter of the year, it's like I had a panic attack, and then it really kicked off this welcome string of introspection. And then I was slowly coming out of the cocoon, and just this openness, give me a sign, universe, where am I to go? And I swear to God, in the same fucking week, I stepped in dog shit 3 times. 3 times. The first one was at an Airbnb Gav and I were staying at on the Sunshine Coast, which worked out well because my husband's a mailman. So he steps in shit all the time.
Oh,
Expert person to handle it. Like, if you find yourself in a pickle on a stroll and you see your letter carrier, just wave them on over, because they're going to know how to deal with that fast and efficiently. So I learned from the best on step number 1. The other 2 happened solo. And honestly, like I actually laughed because I was like, okay, what is this trying to tell me? So then I started Googling, what does it mean when you step in dog shit? Like, is it because a bird poops on you and it's good luck?
It's good luck. Yeah.
Which some cultures apparently do believe that. But there was this whole correlation to like it a sign of like being in the present and slowing down, like grounding you. So I took it as a spiritual sign.
I love how we're like finding spiritual meanings by just stepping in dog shit. Like, might just be you stepped in dog shit.
It just means you need to slow down.
I don't know if I don't know if that's the guides like taking you on your journey.
Times in the same week, you're like,
true.
I need to attach something to this narrative that's going to make me feel better about
the odds of that are rare.
It does make sense.
It does bring you to the present. That smell immediately
sure does.
In the present moment. So
it really wakens you up. Me personally, I think to myself, it's because I didn't pick up that dog shit that one time last week that I
karma.
That I just left it there. I deserved that. And sometimes I think, is that my dog's dog shit? Am I stepping in my own dog's dog?
Is that my dog's dog shit?
And then I go, yeah, probably. It probably is. Yeah. So, and then if I know that I'm far away and then I step in some dog shit, I take my shoe off. I do the whole thing right there and I'm cussing the whole time. I'm like,
absolutely.
Because it gets into tread. There's a lot of tread work.
There's so much tread work.
That's the thing, right? And you got to wait till you get home to give it the proper, like in the bath, shower head rinse.
Oh, we got
needs a shower head
brush that week. It was funny because for some reason Gav was like keeping it at first, and I was like, "We're not keeping a shit brush. Like this isn't happening 4 times." But it was like, in fairness to him, he was like, 3 in a week. The odds are not in your favor. Like,
true,
could happen again, it might, and it will. You're still
honestly
young.
Before that, and by before that, I mean before that. Here we go. I actually, in recent memory, don't remember stepping in shit. Like, so the fact that it happened so close together after a long hiatus, I don't know. It's a shitty week. Shitty.
That is a shitty week.
That is a shitty ass week.
Well played, all. Well played. I'll go.
Yeah.
What was a rule or a law that was told to you as a kid, or even I guess now, that seemed legit, but now as an adult, you're like, fuck off, that's ridiculous? And why the change of heart?
A rule or a law?
I fought the law. And honestly, I just think of those silly things that your parents told you. And I feel like we might have highlighted this from another question before, but the lights on in the vehicle.
Yes.
Everyone got told, you put those lights on. We did talk about
this one. You're right.
Like, why would that even be a thing? Is it a thing? No. And I still question myself now. I'm like, can you get in trouble from having lights on in your vehicle? Why are they there anyways? You can't, right? Can you?
No, like lights on while you're driving. They said like you would get arrested, right?
Well, it was like a law. That? They would, I guess, was like the big thing. It was like, it's illegal.
Yes.
Have the light on while you're driving.
Right. I do remember.
Illegal,
I do recall that.
I am not a lawyer nor a police officer, but I do not think that is illegal.
I do think jaywalking is a little messed up for being illegal in safe circumstances. Just as a little, like if my path across is clear and I am an adult and I can dictate right, left, we're not going to die on this jaywalk. And it's a boatload of time. I find that's absurd. That wasn't your question, but I'm just ranting.
That needs to be in there.
Needs to be said.
Needs to be said.
We'll have a good jaywalk.
I do love a good jaywalk. I jaywalk often, actually.
There you go. We should.
But my lawyer did one time say to stop doing that because she was like, "If you get hit, I'm not up on your side." And I was like, "Okay."
Oh.
Tough love.
Tough love. She's not wrong. I feel it. I totally like. If I get hit, I'm like, "You win."
Sure. Fair is fair.
You're like, the car came out of nowhere.
What's yours, Richelle?
Well, I'm trying to think. I mean, my mom was pretty lawless. Like she just let me do whatever the hell I
But even
wanted.
like the world in itself, what was like, is there like, you could even do it as like a law you think now, let's say, that you're just like, that's a ridiculous law.
Okay. Yeah, a ridiculous law. I mean, I hate speeding tickets. I'm just kidding.
I don't know if that's a ridiculous law, but
I actually had to ask Rob the other day, you know how we had those red light cameras and it was like this big thing when they were put in? I should definitely have a few of those tickets based on where they are. And my theory is that they used it as a tactic. They're too expensive to run and they're not operating, because there is no way I have made it through that many intersections. I don't even mean like the ones that catch you going through a red light. I mean the speed cameras. No way.
Right.
The speed. I always get caught by the red light ones. They in my van, because it goes so slow and it's so big, and I'm in it and I'm like, I can't. There's a bike in here. If I slow down, if I hit the brakes, this bike will go through the front door.
Do you get the tickets?
I get them. I get one, like, I want to say like once a month. I always get like a red light ticket. Yeah, it's bad.
Why aren't you watching on the side the countdown where it's telling you like 3, 2, Richelle, stop?
I do.
And some of those are
and I'm literally in the middle of it.
It's still green, and then you're awkward because you slowed down the whole troops behind you, and then it's still green, and you're like, oh, never mind.
This is always how it is
down
for
the
me.
troops.
You know how people are like, they like rip through the yellow, right?
Yes.
Okay, say for example, you're in the intersection, okay, and you're waiting to turn.
Yeah.
And usually it's Broadway and commercials where it always gets me. And the bus goes nice and slow, and you're in the middle, and it's your green, and I'm still in the middle, and it's green, and then everybody's still going slow, and then I have to get through it. But my van is so fucking slow that as soon as it hits yellow, it's yellow and then it's red immediately all the way through, and I'm always busted. But it's always green when I start.
You gotta just turn it a different light. You gotta go a different route, dude.
That's what I'm doing now. That's what
Save
I'm doing.
some moolah.
I'm losing a little down here.
There's a lot of.
You're just gonna have to like add it to a service fee, like commercial drive and Broadway red light camera service fee.
Put that on everybody's invoice. Listen,
exactly.
It took me a ticket to get here. Okay. What's yours, Laurie? I gotta know.
Mine as a kid, when I look back and I think how ridiculous it is that you have to ask permission when you were in class to go to the bathroom or get water. And rather than taking yourself to do it, maybe like getting, the little card to show so the teacher actually knows where you're headed for safety reasons and stuff. But the idea that you have to ask permission from another human to do the most basic human right of going pee and getting water is bananas to me. And I believe
and sometimes they say no.
Absolutely. No, now's not a good time. No, guess what, ma'am? You don't get to decide if now's a good time for my
I've had jobs
bladder.
where you've had to ask if you could go have a coffee or go pee.
That kind of shit.
Holy shit.
And the fact that everyone goes along with it, like that's normal.
Yeah.
Is bananas to me. The adult one, the one that's like, as an adult looking at like a universal law, obviously to a certain extent, is passports. The fact that other people get to decide where I get to go on this planet.
Yeah.
Because of this color of my skin or the culture that the country I was born in or all those different things is bananas to me.
They actually, this is highly relevant right now because they just released the top most powerful passports. Because obviously, depending on where you're from, you have
Canada is one of the top ones.
Yeah, exactly.
No way.
Yeah. Why? Because we seem the safest. So, and we have the money at least to spend. We are a low risk of threat because we're scared and apologetic as humans.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm just here to like have a pina colada. Just, I swear. And if I bump into you, I'll say I'm sorry. Everybody wins.
Hearing you say pina colada going on a hard left, but it just takes me back. I was with a friend in Mexico and show up, and it was COVID-ish, like I had to test to leave. So it was still a bit weird to travel. So we opted for a safe route to do an all-inclusive, because if I tested positive at the end, they offered free accommodation for your quarantine, which is messed up, but it was like a consideration, right? Yeah. And so we show up, and it's just the type of people that travel there. And this guy marches up to the bar and basically cuts in line in front of us. And he goes, I'll take a pina colada. Heavy on the colada.
Oh, yeah, heavy on them. Talking about that. Heavy on the colada.
What does he think colada is?
I can't. Was he American?
It was like,
obviously.
Yes,
he's gotta be.
Heavy on the colada. The guy was like, okay, senor. Like,
he's like, you gotta go home wherever you come from.
Loco, vamonos.
Well, I think that's a good segue into one of your questions, Krissy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you had a COVID one.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I think I can just do it off the top of my head. But when you look back to that time period of like heart of pandemic, COVID, restrictions, all that craziness that I feel like a lot of the population stuffed in their heads how weird it got during that time. What is something that we should have learned from that clearly we have not?
Obviously that the world needed to slow down for the ecosystem and like Earth to survive, I think was a huge one. Do you remember everything calmed down and then suddenly like birds were out, the ocean was cleaner, like things were surviving? Our impact, for me, it's the impact that we have as people on the planet.
A good one.
I love that. That's like a deep one, but also hell yes.
Right? Yeah.
That they don't need to hoard toilet paper. No, I'm kidding. That's not mine.
Yes. You're not wrong.
Not wrong. No one's doing that anymore. I'm just kidding. We all learned our lesson.
I buy it in bulk.
Costco. The awareness of being really present when you're with the people you love, and really making time to go see and spend that time with people that you love or that you might not be able to see or reach as easily. Everyone was so suddenly super aware of being in physical contact and making that time and all the above, and desperate for it for obvious reasons. We're hardwired for connection and physical connection. And then honestly, I see it where, you know, people are half on their phone, half with the people, half doing this. And like, yeah, I think everyone's just kind of like completely backed into that space of addiction to the disconnect that doesn't realize that because it's available to them if they want it, the person, the people, the things. And then it's like, if that's gone tomorrow, dude, which it could be, or that, you know, so I just think it's the present when you're with people.
Definitely. Mine's twofold. Number one, I don't know. Well, I think everyone here's traveled since then. Holy shit. Like, reconsider if you're going to be a disgusting human on board. I was on a flight and I don't like all around me. It was like,
yes.
And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Because even on a good day before that, I was not on board signing up for that experience. It is gross, disgusting. And it's like the wiping the nose on the fingers and then like, oh yes, give me my drink and my pretzels. I had that face, Richelle, like staring at the person next to me because I was just like, what the fuck? And so my husband just traveled and had an experience like that where he had that face, Richelle, and then turned around and they heard about it because he was like, this is a 5-hour flight. This person needs to not. Yeah. And then the other thing is like a little bit more on the meaningful side, but the amount, like the world stopped and I still, and again, this comes from a place of like gratitude, etc., because I had my job, which meant I had income, and I understand it was like financially the hardship people experienced. I don't want to discount that. I'm aware of that. But during that time when everyone's things stopped, they realized like, oh, that thing that I am doing for my paycheck, I don't love. And they were tuning into hobbies that really resonated. Like all of a sudden your neighbor 2 years down found out they were an artist and another person decided they wanted an instrument. And I feel like all these people dropped their hobbies. They got back routine and they forgot that thing that they were like, it's awakened my soul. And now we're back and they're like, my soul is dead.
It's still so pressuring. Like even for me, like COVID pretty much launched True Grit.
Yeah.
And I loved True Grit, and I still love True Grit. But even then, compared to it is now, like people that would show up then would be like, I I don't really know what I'm doing with my day, but I think I'm just going to go for a ride and I'm just going to experience my day. And I'm still trying to work through what's going on with COVID. And there was like this whole other conversation. It was very meaningful. And now people are like, I gotta go. Like I got places to go. I need to go. And they're also like, I'm on a budget. I can't really afford this. So it's funny that a lot of people during COVID times, granted, there was several people that were like, I really can't pay for this because I'm worried about my job. It seems like it's still the same problem now, even when people are back doing their 24-hour or their 9 to 5.
Yeah.
So, but they're just like more stressed out because they're like, now I'm back in my regime. So I don't know. It's so wild. And I just find that as much as COVID was terrible, I definitely, for me personally, it like changed my life a little bit to be like, oh, I don't have to live in like constant, like, I hate this. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I don't want to do this job. It was a game changer. That's for sure.
Yeah. I resonate with you when you're like, I get that it was terrible for a lot of people, but I like it changed the course of my whole life and not in a bad way. Like I actually, I think some of the highlights of my journal in the last couple of years were the COVID years.
C'est la vie.
C'est la vie.
All right, Richelle. Oh no, yeah, Richelle, your go.
I have some pretty important questions to ask.
Yeah,
actually.
you do.
Yeah. Maybe should I start? Let me do the lesser of the two. Let's do. Okay. Have you guys ever watched? Okay, Game of Thrones. Let's do that one. Okay, we'll be gentle. Do you guys ever watch Game of Thrones? Do you guys ever watch it?
So I started it, loved it, and then didn't have time to deep dive in. And then I kind of forgot about it, and I'm still waiting. I've still kind of forgotten about it. And so this question, you asking about it, makes me want to properly commit that like that's going to be my show because I don't get a lot of TV time. Yeah. But I love when you just have this like solid series that like every night, that's your like treat is the new episode. And there's like 19 seasons that I get to.
It's not Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah, right.
There was like eight or 9 seasons. My brother actually got me back into it. So this is the 3rd time I've seen this, and it's new for me every time. It's crazy. Beautiful. I don't know. Krissy, have you seen it? Game of Thrones? Have you ever seen it?
I've not seen it. I don't even know what it's about. And I think your second part of that question was like, why the hell not? I honestly just hate horses. Like, I know they're majestic creatures.
Didn't see that coming.
I didn't see that coming either.
Didn't see that coming.
But like anything,
all the things,
like a lot of galloping and like running around. I'm just like, if it's a Western or a medieval and a lot of horse action, I just broad brush it with that it's not for me.
I did not know that. I was going to take you to a horse thing tomorrow night, but I won't.
What? Yeah.
I think I've told this story once that Gav, when we first started dating, we lived near Niagara Falls and planned. He still is, but like, especially when you're being wooed, ultra romantic dude. And he like planned this like lovely date and we go all around. And then where it was going to end was in front of Niagara Falls. They have like the horse and carriage rides and we're walking down. I was like, oh God, could you imagine? Like I just like made some comment and that's where we were headed, which we didn't do because luckily it was like you just saddle up and go for it. But I was like, that would be the most terrible thing. Like, ugh, they smell and like.
Did he say anything? Was he like,
Definitely.
That's where we're going, baby.
Like that's where I was proposing.
And it's like everything that comes with it. No, it's not for me.
Yeah, I get that it's not for you, but to not watch.
Gav's watching all of them. I didn't. Like I was like, that's the horse thing.
Too many horses.
Too many horses. You know what? There is, to be fair, a horse in pretty much every episode.
Yeah. Okay. And but I mean, after all.
So I can't even ask the original question, which is which one you guys would want to bang.
Definitely the horse.
Krissy,
is there a lot of? Well, here's the thing: the Frost guy. I don't know. I just know the Frost guy, and he's like very sexy.
The king of the dead.
King of the Dead. So I do the frost guy with the like long, dark, curly hair that watches the wall or something.
Laurie.
Are there any gingers?
Yeah.
I'm going to do them all.
I was going to say, does that like the fact there's a ton of gingers, does that like make you more interested? Does that, what does it call it? Like replace the dislike of horses?
You know, it peaks.
Enough to watch?
Piques some interest.
Okay.
There's so much that goes on. There's lesbians. There's like Middle Eastern lesbians. There's sea lesbians.
There's incest.
There's incest
within. I think it's like the first episode, isn't it?
The whole thing is.
I was like, I think it's the first scene or something.
Yes.
They really let you know what you're in for. There it is.
Yeah.
Who would you lay with?
Daenerys Targaryen, obviously, the Queen of the Dragons. Okay, she's very nice.
Oh, her, yes.
But I'm also
Khaleesi. Isn't that Khaleesi?
She's the Khaleesi, of the Dothraki.
She's incredible. Yes,
she's incredible. And I heard that she was actually sick during the filming of it, which is even more incredible because she nails it as an actress. She just slays it.
Like, what do you mean? And there's like had a cough, or she had like an actual illness.
I think something had happened during it where she got like really ill. Yeah, like a physical illness that she was like almost incapable of filming, but she still filmed.
Oh, I don't know if we should cheer that. We're like, way to go, girl, power girl. And you're like, I think she probably should have rested.
Yeah, the old if you're sick.
We have that westernized culture. Yeah, where we're all just like, yeah, badass. She pushed through being super sick. And we're like, she probably should have
wait a second. She probably should have
taken care of herself. But also we are thankful that she shared her gift with us. She's well.
Millions of whatever the paycheck was probably helped soften.
Oh, yeah. Down there, like there's this one actor. His name is Joffrey, and he's like the most hated character in the whole thing.
Yes, right.
And he's like literally a nobody now.
Really?
Yeah.
But we just mentioned him, so he's somebody.
Yeah, and if you were that person, I think there's merit to like having a really successful run in a series. I don't know what they got paid, but let's assume you get compensated well, and then you get to go back into obscurity and live your life and ride into the sunset.
Like that. I kind of like to become a nobody after a big,
I want to be fucking somebody, man. If I'm going to be in that shit, I'm going to be everywhere, baby. I'm going to be in a Ferrari in my next show.
But you can be in a Ferrari and a nobody. So you can be in a Ferrari and people leave you the fuck alone. So like you're in a Ferrari. Yeah.
I was in a Walmart commercial recently. Okay. It's launching.
Stop.
I'm taking it.
This is where
you started your model career. Was this a commercial? Is it a print ad or is it a commercial?
Well, here's I don't know, actually, no. This is a good question. It was a print, I think, but it's going to commercial, and it's office supplies for Walmart, and they dressed me up in the gayest outfit that anybody could ever put me in. I look like Ellen DeGeneres selling vacuums back in the 80s. Yes. It was literally the worst. And I got to go back. I asked them for the photos. I was like, can I have those photos, the ones that you guys took of me? Because they set me up in like actual Walmart clothes, right? Where they like pick things from Walmart and they do it. And they said, I'll tell you one outfit right now. Okay. It was light beige suede boots, zip up style boot. Okay. Gosh, a Wrangler pant that was gray. Okay. A dark brown faux leather belt.
Okay.
A tuck in baby blue and white blouse tucked in. Okay. And for the topper, a forest green overlay sweater.
Yeah, we need those photos.
It was bad. And because the underlay blouse would constantly wrinkle, I couldn't move. So I just was standing there like this.
I am loving this modeling career for you, though, but that's hilarious, and I can't wait to enjoy.
I need to see you in this.
I was sitting around a bunch of boxes, doing like I was on the search for something, and they were like, "Okay, now get ready. Now look at the computer, and then look at us, and kind of smile past us." And I was like, and then he was like, "No, that's too excited. Stop, calm it down." And I was like, "Okay." No, you look sad. Stop it. And I was like, what the fuck? And you couldn't even see the boots because I was surrounded by boxes. It was a lot. I would do it again.
Oh, you just need to keep doing these things, bring all the stories this way.
Truly, it's super good. I loved it.
I need to start a new segment, the Model Diaries.
Model Diaries. There's a whole thing of it, like you're in there. It's crazy. And I don't know. I loved it. I don't think I was really that good at it, but
well, you're also new to it, right? So I think it's like
there was people walking in there and the girls were like, yeah, so Jeffrey the other day, he came in and just ripped all the fucking tags right off the clothes. We're supposed to take those back to Walmart. What the fuck is he thinking? He just came in here and he was like the man and he had his cologne on. And I was like listening to them all. And I was like, this is gold. I'm like taking off my clothes, making sure the tags are on there. Like, oh, don't do that. Don't do that. I like fully like ripped one of the little tags that says like 3230 on it's like the sticker.
Yeah, don't be a fucking Jeffrey.
On your base
back on.
Who will know if you want to buy them? The 3230s of the world are disappointed.
They are.
You think of all the people in Walmart when you're trying clothes on, tags are ripping off left, right, and center. I see them on like the ground. You see tags, and I love
everywhere.
How like a commercial. It's like to go back into the Walmart store, like precisely.
Yeah, they're like so sophisticated.
Yeah, because going back to Gucci or something.
Totally. That's what it felt like. It was very important stuff.
Amazing. Well, that was a nice little
off-road detour.
Off of Game of Thrones we got there? Come on. Come on.
I know.
You just went off-roading with the Motovation Podcast, hosted by Laurie Joy Kingwell and myself, Krissy Vann.
And of course, a special thank you to Richelle from True Grit Moto.
Whoop, boss it.
Never miss an episode by hitting like or subscribe. Connect with us on Instagram at Motovation Podcast and visit our website at themotovation.com. And in the meantime, full tags, full throttle.
I think this is good though. It's like healthy, like people will be like, oh my God, I don't floss.
It must be so hard not to laugh to get through this intro.